pain of change or the pain of staying the same. Alrighty, welcome back to the show. Thank you for joining me. For those of you who are new here, my name is Byron Ovenstone. For those of you who been here before, thank you for joining us. Alrighty, we're doing a 3-part series, like I said a couple of videos ago. We did the nutrition, we've done the fitness, now we're on to mindset. If you haven't seen those videos, unnecessary. If you haven't seen those videos, go back 2 days, watch the nutrition one first, then watch the fitness one, and then come back and watch this one, or watch this one, then go back and watch those other two. It doesn't really matter as long as you get all 3 done. So the main thing that we're looking for across all of this is sustainability. The reason this matters is because anyone can do anything for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. But if the results that you get are results that you want to keep, it has to be sustainable. It has to be something that you can do for a prolonged period of time. Because otherwise it's just another fad diet, a quick fix, a band-aid on a bullet hole. And what inevitably happens is the results that you get, you lose just as fast because you haven't built in the processes, the systems, you haven't got the discipline, the consistency, the habits. So the first 2 videos, we really unpack and simplify nutrition and fitness to where it can become sustainable. Now we're going to do exactly the same thing for your mindset, because if you don't know this, your mindset matters. If you're turning up in a terrible mindset, I don't care who the fuck you are, you're not living to your fullest potential. There is no way, not as long as God made little green apples, are you living to your fullest potential. If you're in a constant negative headspace, if you're constantly feeling like shit and you're miserable, there is no way you're turning up the best version of you. It's just not possible. So today we're going to fix that. Today we're going to start doing some stuff to really get you trending in the right direction. And I should have forward planned a little bit, but it is what it is. I'm gonna grab this journal right here real quick because it starts with this. Boom, this piece right here. Now this is where your headspace really does get dialed in. Look at this shit. Writing shit down. Gratitude. Write down your goals and journal your days. Now it doesn't have to be a super extensive piece, but every single day, one thing that I would like you guys to get into the habit of doing is writing, where you write down some stuff that you're grateful for, you write down your goals so that they stay front of mind, and also don't just think about them because they become just this thing in the background that doesn't really play. When you start writing it down, it's actually taking an actionable step. It just wires you slightly differently. The moment I started writing down my goals and paying attention to them on a daily basis, all of a sudden I was able to time collapse 1-year goals into 6 months. Because I was taking action, and the action was writing them down, and that made them more real. Every single day you need to be doing an after action report, and it's literally a 5-minute thing. That one you can write or you don't have to write. If you prefer just to kind of do it in the shower like me, that's perfectly fine too. I started off by writing it though, I will say that. And now it's more of like a showering kind of thing where I'm showering and I'm thinking about my day. What did I do well? What could I do better tomorrow? How do I do more of the stuff that I did well? How do I do less of the stuff that I didn't do so well or can improve on it so that I start doing that well? When you start paying attention to your days like that, again, we're not looking for exponential change overnight to where all of a sudden you're like this completely different animal that you don't even recognize. We're looking for 1% changes. How can I get a little bit more out of my workouts? How can I get a little bit more out of my nutrition? How can I give my wife just a little bit more attention to where she feels a little bit more valued, etc.? It's just those little micro changes, but when you do them consistently every day for a year, the compound on that is exponential. That's what we're shooting for. So again, the mindset piece specifically is money. Now what I need you to start cutting out is negative social media, the news, and start editing relationships where all people talk about is other people and bullshit that's going on in their lives. These 3 things are very, very important. If you're following a bunch of toxic people that share about how fucked the world is, are you shocked that your lens that you're looking at this game through life through says to you that everything is fucked? Think about this for a second. I wish I had some sunglasses in here. That'll be really helpful. But let's say you have the night glasses, right? The ones that brighten things up. You look through that lens with one eye, and through the other eye, you look at a dark lens, a lens that you would normally wear during the day when the sun's shining. It's 2 different perceptions, right? You're seeing things slightly differently because the lens that you're looking through is different. The same thing applies with this game called life. If you're constantly looking through a lens of misery, you will see more of it. If you're looking at a lens with positivity, action, people moving in the right direction, achieving goals, etc., you're going to see more of that too. Don't know about you, I know which lens I prefer looking through. So I cleaned up my social media. I used to follow like 500 motherfuckers on social media. I now follow like 140. And that whittles down every single day. If you're someone who posts too much negative shit and it shows up too many times on my timeline, I just unfollow you. I have to protect this with everything that I got. So even if we were friends for fucking 2,000 years ago, if you're posting a bunch of shit that I don't like, I'm just gonna unfollow you. It is what it is. I'm not obligated to follow anyone. I protect this with everything that I got. So if you're someone who shares a bunch of negative shit, or you have a bunch of people on your Instagram or your social media platforms that share a bunch of negative stuff, start reducing how much of that shit you see. Start paying attention and following the people who are hunting down goals, who are in personal development, who are making things of their life. Why? Because they're looking through a completely different lens. They see opportunity where everyone else sees problems. I want to see opportunity because with opportunity, I can do things. If I'm just seeing problems and how miserable the world is, like it takes a lot more energy and a lot more headspace to then see through those problems for the solution. Versus if you're just talking and listening and paying attention to people who are sharing positive stuff, your headspace naturally becomes more positive. And with a positive headspace, you're looking through a positive lens, and your life starts to get a lot better very quickly. So, social media, big one. Stop watching the news. There is nothing that is on the news that is worth watching because none of it is in your control. So you're watching a bunch of shit about how the world is falling apart, and all it's doing again is it's dimming here and it's making you look through a shitty lens to where all of a sudden all you think about, all you see is all the problems and all the negativity. Don't do it, Batman. It's not healthy for you. So input matters. The input that you're paying attention to matters. Oh, and then the third one with your friends and your circles and stuff like that, just edit your relationships, similar to the social media piece. Control the conversations. If they start going down the spiral of negativity, just edit the conversations, go back to something else, talk about something else. If they can't do that and they constantly go down that road, just start creating distance. And we can go into that in another video about how you do that to where you don't burn bridges and things like that. But reality is, if that's their headspace, if that's the world that they want to live in, I don't want to live in that world. So I just create distance and I remove myself from that situation. The input, like I was touching on, matters. What you allow in your head matters. So that's why you'll see that there's bookshelves of books that I read. I've got another 500 and something books in New Zealand that I'm going to get shipped over here at some point. But pay attention to the input. So one of the fundamentals that I get all of my guys to do in my coaching program is read 10 to 20 pages a day of something that is personal development wise that makes you think in a different way. It rewires your brain to think slightly differently. It creates new neural pathways. That's critical for teaching you how to think. It's critical for teaching you how to use your brain. Over and above that, I want my guys listening to positive, up-talked things. So audiobooks, another very good one. Good podcasts, another good one. YouTube videos, etc. All of the content that they need to be absorbing should be getting them to think differently, should be getting them to rewire their brain slightly differently. But over and above that, it has to be delivered in a way that helps them see that where they are going is in full control of them. What they're doing is completely in their control. You can't be the guy that says, oh, it's this person's problem, that problem, this problem, that problem. Like, you have to take complete ownership. And that's one of the biggest headspace pieces that I can give you today, is that you take full ownership, absolute full ownership of everything. Why? Because if you own it, you can control it. If it's someone else's fault, someone else's problem, you have no control over that situation, and now you're just a bystander and you're collateral damage. I don't want that. So I pay attention to what I put in, and I pay attention to what it matters most to me. My family, my businesses, my wealth generation, my legacy, etc. So I crafted a 2.0 version of me, the highest self. What does he look like? How does he act? How does he show up? How does he think? What does he drive? What does he wear? What does his house look like? As much detail as you can go into in that 2.0 highest version of you that you can, craft that. And then understand that that is now the best you. How does he show up? What is his daily activities? Oh, he reads every day. He journals. He's grateful. He does personal development. He works out. He pays attention to his nutrition. He's hydrated. He values his family. He spends time with the wife and the kids, etc., etc. Okay, cool. Well, that's what the best version of me does. I'm going to do that every day now until such time as I become that version of me. Because if I want to become that guy, I have to do that shit every single day now, right? So I build those habits, those disciplines, those consistencies. Again, like the first 2 videos in this series, we're talking sustainability. We're talking approaches that I can do on a consistent basis over time to get me where I want to go. So I practice them daily, and I edit them daily as well. Okay, it's not realistic for me to read an hour every morning because kids come in, this, that. Okay, cool. So I'm not going to read in the mornings. What I'm going to do instead is this. And then on my Google Calendar, which is on the other side of the screen, I just edit my days. I just move stuff around, and then I live those days by the calendar until such time as I find a sustainable approach. And then I can rinse and repeat those days every day. Now I'm living in alignment with that 2.0 highest self. Every day I'm doing the sets, the reps, I'm getting the repetitions in, and ultimately I'm going to live that life because I'm congruent with that version of me. I do the tasks on a daily basis. I pay attention to what I put in my headspace. I pay attention to the lenses that I look at this game through life through. And that is how you craft that best version of you. That is what matters the most. So you guys understand, like I said in the first video, there's 3 pillars to this: the fitness, the nutrition, and the mindset. All 3 are just as important as each other, because when one of them falls, the other 2 fall behind just as fast. And over and above that, it then starts bleeding and seeping into everything else that you do. Like I like to think about this game called life. Like if you ever watch one of those like crime detective movies, right, where they've got the guy on the one side of the glass and the other guy on the other side of the glass, and it's one-way glass. And the bad guy's on that side. He can't see what's this side, but these guys can see through. What I want to do is I want to put like my highest version of me on that side of the glass, on the bad side. In this case, the bad side, right? But it's actually the good side. And I want to make sure that I'm forever looking that way, and I want him to look back this way. Because I want him to be influenced by today. I just want to be me and be influenced by him for tomorrow. So I constantly make steps towards that and constantly work every single day through the journaling and the practices and the after action reports and the input that I put into my head to get me closer to that version of me. Because what I don't want to do, and what most people do, is they lower the standard of that guy to meet the current level and live this average, mediocre, shitty life. I can't afford to have that, hence the one-way glass. So he can't see what the fuck is going on this side. He can't see the chaos and the catastrophes and the dick punches and everything else that you go through on a daily basis, because to be fair, none of that actually matters to him anyway, right? The best version of me doesn't have the problems I have today. He has completely different problems. He has bigger, bolder, more challenging problems than I have today, but I don't want my today problems to influence that version of me. So I'm looking through a one-way glass and I'm just looking up the whole time and I'm like, okay, that's where we're heading. We're gonna have to figure out today and just keep moving forward. And we're not gonna lower the standard of that guy to meet where I am now, because then we're on an equal playing field, at which point I basically succumb myself to a fucking life of misery and death. Not happening. That's not the legacy I want to leave. So instead, one-way glass, he's up on a fucking pedestal, and I'm just hunting down every single day by taking actionable steps and paying attention to everything that I think about, everything that I do, everything that I read, everything that I let into my head. Because if it's not something that's going to get me closer to that version of that guy, in my after action report, I need to start whittling that stuff out. The highest version of me doesn't consume copious amounts of alcohol, doesn't eat like an arsehole, doesn't watch the news, doesn't gossip, doesn't do all sorts of shit that this version of me may succumb to. Now, I don't drink anymore, it doesn't serve me, I have no interest in it. But sometimes I overeat. Sometimes I'll find myself in conversations that I don't want to be involved in. So in my after action report, I review that and I go, shit, okay, I dropped the ball here and here. Tomorrow I'm going to be 1% better. And I keep that guy up there. And I just take that step-by-step approach. Every day is going to be a little bit better than the day before. And that's how you win. And that's how you keep those 3 dialed. You keep the sustainability approach. Because again, you looking at that guy today and going, I'm going to be him tomorrow. Not possible. That guy's a decade from today. And it's going to take a decade of doing the same stuff every single day and improving on it every single day to get there. But trying to find a shortcut won't help me. In actual fact, it makes me go the long way around. So, sustainable approach, micro changes over a long period of time, sets, reps, disciplines, habits, consistencies. Those are the fundamentals. And that's why those 3 pillars are just as important as each other, and why you need to start paying attention to those 3 pillars. Everyone wants the Amazon Prime result. Oh, I click buy and I want it here later today or tomorrow. You can't do that with the highest version of you. You can't do that with your fitness, your nutrition, and your mindset. It doesn't work. Trust me, I tried. And you will fucking fail, and you will wreck your confidence, you will wreck your self-esteem. And like me, you'll have 18 months of fucking spiraling and not moving. In actual fact, taking gradual steps backwards and further away from the guy you want to become, because you're constantly looking for a shortcut instead of just succumbing to the fact that yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. There's going to be days where you don't want to do it. Yes, there's going to be pain involved, because growth equals pain. So we're going to have to endure some shit. But again, I would rather endure the pain of moving forward than the pain of moving backwards, because I've endured both. And I know that the pain of moving forward is significantly better. So commit to the process. You've watched the 3-part series now. Now it's on you. Now you actually have to do the work. Are you going to do the work, or are you going to be a bystander who's going to end up doing a couple days and then you're going to end up back on the sofa and wishing you'd started a year ago? You're at a fork in the road. It's up to you now. Take the step in the right direction, and tomorrow make the choice to take the step in the right direction again. And just take it day by day. Just like they talk about in Alcoholics Anonymous. Do it. All you have to do is win today. And then when you wake up tomorrow, just win tomorrow. When you wake up the next day, win the next day. You don't have to think about 10 years from today. It's too far away and it's too daunting. Yes, understand where you want to be 10 years from today, but then break it down into bite-sized pieces for today. You want to make $1 million, you know that you need to make fucking $5,000 a day, or whatever the number is. When you know that that's the number, actually I think it's like $3,000 a day. But anyway, when you know what the number is, and you can focus on that number, oh man, I'm just going to make $3,000 today, and then $3,000 tomorrow, and then $3,000 the next day, and you only worry about that today, life is not so bad. It's not so daunting. It's not so fucking like horrendous, because all you have to worry about is this 24-hour window that you're in right now. And then when you've completed that, it's only 24 hours. And that's the kind of mindset shifts that I need you guys to start taking and start implementing into your days. Because that's the kind of shit that's going to get you moving the needle, and it's going to stop you from quitting, because you're going to expect results too fast otherwise. Pay your dues, pay your way, make the right choice. Now, if you've watched this 3-part series and you're like, yeah, man, I like what you're saying, I like what you're doing, I like the advice that you're giving, but I don't know if I have it in me to do it on my own, not a problem. There's a link in the description box. Click it. What that'll do is it'll take you to one of our application pages. You can fill in that application, you can talk to one of my guys, or potentially me, and we'll get you on a call, we'll help you out, we might put you on the program, we might just send you on your way with some advice. But the point is, take the actionable steps. You have the roadmap, you now have the blueprint. It's up to you now to run the play. Make the right choice. The pain of change or the pain of staying the same. I choose change every day. I hope you found that 3-part series valuable. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers for now.